All right, so let's come back to finding the median for our class data. So again, this will tell us sort of what is a typical data analysis student like, based on the questions that were asked using the median. So the first question was, have you ever been in a physical fight? This is not a question that you can find the median for, because it's nominal level data. So you can't put these responses in order, yes and no, from least to most. So we're going to say that we can't find the median at all. For the other two questions, though, so how afraid are you of being victimized and how many times have you been stopped by the police, we can find the median because we have an ordinal level question and a ratio level question. So let's start with this question right here. How afraid are you of being victimized? So here we have responses. They're listed out in a frequency distribution in order. So if we want to find the median for a frequency distribution, we're going to use the median position formula. Here, our median position is given by this formula of n plus 1 over 2, where n is the total number of observations that we have. Here, 53 people answered this question, so we have 53 as our n. This gives us a median position of 20. With the median position, if you're dealing with a frequency distribution, again, what you do is you look for the two cumulative frequencies that fall on either side of your median position. Here, 27 is in between 19 and 39. So using our little trick there, we're going to look at the larger number, which is 39, and then that's going to tell us where our median is. So here, the value attached to the cumulative frequency of 39 is neither afraid nor unafraid. So this tells us that the median amount of fear that people have of being victimized in our class is neither afraid nor unafraid. So here, this is another measure of central tendency that's going to give us this answer, that the typical amount of fear of crime, so what a typical or average student in the class would experience would be not really being afraid of crime, but not really being not afraid of it either. So kind of middle of the road. All right, we also have the question, how many times have you been stopped by police in the last 3 years? Here, we're going to find our median position using this slightly different n here of 52, because one response, again, wasn't numerical, so it's not counted in there. And with a median position of 52, with the median position formula giving us 52 plus 1 over 2, we're going to come up with a median position of 26.5. So looking at our frequency distribution, we can see 26.5 falls in between the cumulative frequencies 15 and 31, so the ones that correspond to 0 and 1. Looking at our larger cumulative frequency, we'll be able to tell that the median number of stops in the class was 1 stop. So if you were to list out all the numbers of stops of members of the class in order, the middle value would be 1 stop. So here we came up with the same answer again as we did for mode, which is that sort of a typical or middle value of number of stops for people in this class is 1 stop. And this brings us to our final measure of central tendency, which is the mean. And the mean is also known as the average. And when you hear somebody say average, usually they're talking about a mean. The mean can be calculated for variables that are measured at the interval or ratio levels of measurement, and what this means is numerical variables only. So if it's not counted as a number, if it's not measured numerically, you can't find the mean for it. The best way to find the mean is to add up all the observations in the data set and divide by the total number of observations. And to do this, we'll be using something that I'll refer to as the mean formula that I'll write out when I go over to the document camera. Before I do that, I'll also note that there is a way of finding the mean with a frequency distribution to parallel what we did with the mode and median, but we're not going to do it in this class because honestly, there's not really any reason for you to know how to do it. So with that, I'm going to head over to the document camera and go through one last set of examples for using that simplified data where we're going to find the mean.